Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Vicente,
And this is Izzy.
and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start doing sometimes some Sunday episodes, which we'll call Sunday Funday, just because this is just an episode of the podcast where we can just have fun, where we don't have to do a movie review. Not that we don't like doing them, but it's also nice to just have some fun. Now, before we get started with our topic of the episode, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of my subscribers on YouTube and TikTok. You guys are fucking awesome. We're at 415.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for the support. It means so much. I mean, we're almost to the halfway point of 1,000, and that is amazing. We've been, doing it 2 months, 3 months?
Something like that, yeah. And then people ask me like, "Oh, like, do you want to get paid for this? Would you want this to be a full-time job?" And like, honestly, I'm just doing it for fun. That's all it is. I mean, would I want it to happen? Sure, why not? But I just want to have fun. Yeah. I don't care if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I just love talking to you guys. I can talk horror, comic movies, comic books, Star Wars, Jurassic Park, just anything in pop culture. And I want to spread light and positivity with this podcast. So, I'm happy that we're doing it. Izzy, you want to give any shout outs?
I just shout out to everybody who has supported us and commented on our videos and are actually talking to us, so we can have conversations about stuff that we enjoy and we hope that you enjoy too.
Yeah, and with all the YouTube shorts I post, there's one I posted about, what's the Star Wars what if? If Star Wars were to do what if stories, like how Marvel Comics did it. A lot of people were engaged in that, and it got over 2,000 views and a lot of comments, and it's cool. I like engaging with people. And someone in the comment section was respectful and told me hey dude, they kind of already did this with something called Star Wars Infinites, which I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I looked into it, and they're cool, but there's not that many stories, so you can't really blame someone if it wasn't that popular, or not popular, but if they didn't really capitalize on that idea.
Yeah.
It's not like, Marvel Comics What If 2, where everyone's going to know what What If is compared to Star Wars Infinity.
Yeah.
Infinity, sorry. No, but yeah, so Izzy, what's the topic of our episode today? Let's get a little bit into that.
So the topic of our episode today, we're going to be talking about some franchises that we think shouldn't be remade.
And let me just say this. It's for the franchises, our top 5 that we say can never be remade or just capture that magic again. It was hard to pick which franchises, because there are a lot that are worthy just to be chosen.
So, I mean, and there's a lot of, like Vicente just said, there's a lot of franchises out there. And I mean, the ones that we picked are just our personal opinions. So if you guys don't agree, then that's totally fine too.
And I know someone's gonna be like, oh, what about the multiple Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, all those movies? What about their sequels and reboots? Well, those are reboots, and those characters have so much story that you can tell differently in different ways. Whereas with the franchises we chosen, you just can't capture that magic again.
Yeah.
And if you do, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. The franchises that we chose, we specifically talked about it and said that they're perfect the way they are and that they age perfectly. So we're not choosing franchises just because. We've actually dissected which franchises age really, really good and just can never be touched again.
Exactly. And I think the franchises we chose are some pretty good picks. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, so starting at number 5 is the Harry Potter franchise. Now, let me just say this. Me and Izzy are aware that HBO Max is going to make a TV series, or that there's a plan to do it. But to me, I think it's a dumb idea. I get it. I really do. There's things in the books that they never could do in the movies. Granted, I don't remember a lot of the book lore. It's been almost 10 years since I've read the fucking books. Get off my case, But you're just not going to capture that magic. Everyone knows the Harry Potter theme song, that da 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 da. You're not going to capture that magic again.
And like the new series, I think it's a cool idea to bring more in the books, but you just can't remake those movies, especially with how iconic this cast is. There's no way to replace them.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe will always be Harry Potter.
Exactly.
Just like Hermione Granger, or Emma Watson will always be Hermione Granger. I always forget the actor's name that played Ron. Was it Rupert?
Rupert, yes.
Yeah, Rupert something, yeah. He's and Tom Felton as Malfoy. You just can't you can't cast the same people. You can't replicate that magic that we've seen. Maybe in 500 years, but even then, it's like these movies are special, and for people our age, I'm 25,
and I'm 21.
and so when we grew up with these movies, this is who Harry Potter is. And I have nephews who are young, and he associate Daniel Radcliffe with Harry Potter, and it's just so hard, And even one of my nephews, Elijah, when we told him that they're thinking about making a TV series, he said he doesn't want to watch it just because it won't have the actor for Snape, Alan Rickman, and the actor for Hagrid. And he says it's not going to be the same. And I agree. It's not just going to be the same.
Yeah.
You can't capture the theme for Harry Potter. You can't capture that again. You can't capture the atmosphere and the look of Hogwarts itself. It's just, you can make it look the same, but then if you're going to make it look the same, then just watch the movies.
Yeah, or just expand on what's already been made. I think that would have been a lot more better option for them than this. And also, I would like to say that because these movies are based on books, they're never going to be out of touch in pop culture either. So it doesn't, for me, it doesn't make sense for them to remake it.
I mean, if anything, and I talked to Izzy about it, and I've talked to others on my social media platforms, that if anything, I kind of rather have a Cursed Child adaptation, or you could do your whole spin-off where Harry, like, have Harry's kids, Hermione's kids, all their kids go to school. You could adapt those stories or something to where you can still take stuff from the book lore, from the original books, and just incorporate it with their kids. Something like that if you really want to see it. I just don't think a straight remake of Harry Potter will ever work out.
No.
And they still age really, really well. Like, if you're to see Daniel Radcliffe or anyone from the Harry Potter movies, you're going to know him from Harry Potter.
Exactly. And it just, I don't know. I don't like the idea of the series. And I mean...
And with the whole J.K. Rowling situation, we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, no.
We support the art, not the artists.
Exactly. So, anywhere else?
Nothing. We already said our piece.
Yeah, I think we've said our piece.
All right, and now our number 4 franchise you just can't remake or capture the magic again is going to be Steven Spielberg's Jaws. Now, this movie was the first summer blockbuster, and yes, granted, the shark looks fake now, but back then, that was impressive. They had a whole animatronic shark operating in the water. Granted, it would kind of wire out, but the first Jaws movie was something special. First blockbuster hit in the summer. It made people afraid of sharks. It made people not want to go into the ocean. And now it's so popular in pop culture, and it's considered like one of the greatest horror movies and shark movies ever made.
Yeah. And not to mention the theme of this movie, it's literally in almost any dramatic scene.
For any movies in general,
that
every pop culture, like any pop culture movies or just anything in general, even in shows, you have a character going dun, just copying or making fun of it. So that tells you it doesn't need a remake.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry with how Hollywood wants to use CGI all the damn time. That shark's going to be entirely CGI, so you're not going to capture that magic of the original shark, which they call Bruce on set.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, do they have the technology to make a real animatronic of the shark now? Yes, but at the same time, you're just never going to be able to capture that scene again.
Yeah, and I don't even know who you can have in this movie. I thought the cast of the first movie was perfect. Granted, what do I think about the Jaws franchise? Jaws 2 is okay. Jaws 3D sucks. Jaws 4 fucking just burn in hell or something. Jaws the Revenge is stupid. Will we ever cover those movies? Possibly, maybe. But I'm letting you know right now, I'm only going to talk good stuff about the first movie. The second one, I'll be mixed on. Third and fourth, I'm going to shit on. I literally have no positives for both of those movies. Maybe the fucking, the grind to make these movies, maybe. But even then, like, you got to let a franchise die. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of wish Jaws was a one and done movie.
Yeah, I think it would have been done better as a one and done movie. Like, and I'm a person who only really likes the first one, not even the second. The second one's okay, but the other ones,
the second movie is just basically a remake of the first movie.
Pretty much.
Think of it as Evil Dead 2 to the original Evil Dead.
Yeah.
To where it's not a cut for cut copy of the original one, but it's still the same premise in a way if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah. So.
I think Steven Spielberg went on record saying he doesn't ever want to see Jaws remade. And I don't blame him, because you just can't capture that scariness and just anything from the original movie. I mean, look, we already have the Meg franchise. We have so many shark movies that try so hard to replicate Jaws, but you can tell you're never going to get to Jaws' success. I'm sorry to say it. You just can't capture that magic again.
Nope, you can't capture that iconic shark scene ever.
Nope. And yeah, this movie fucking scared me as a kid. And my San Diego family, I'll tell you guys a funny story real quick. When I first went to San Diego, I was at my Theo David's house and we watched Jaws before we went to the beach, and that was a bad idea. And so I went into the ocean and I saw seaweed and I thought it was a shark. Long story short, I freaked the whole beach out, yelling, "Oh shit, there's a fucking shark here." I think I was only like maybe 10 or 11. And my family back then, it used to bother me when my family brought it up, but it makes me laugh now.
Yeah.
My familia in San Diego says this, "Hey, Chente, the shark from San Diego says hi," and I'll laugh about it and stuff. Yeah, but that's the impact that I'm talking about. What Jaws has made to a lot of people in this entire millennium.
Yeah, it's the thing that made us scared of beaches.
Yeah, and Izzy knows that I'll never go on a fucking cruise or I'll never go deep in the ocean. Nope, fuck that. Just because of that movie.
Yeah, too much.
And now number 3 on our franchise that doesn't need to be remade, and I'm pretty sure people already knew this: Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, you can't capture that story again because we're all going to know the whole twists and turns, and this is George Lucas's baby. Because we're getting spoilers for this whole episode, even though these are old fucking movies. You're going to know that Vader is Luke's son.
Yeah. And
oh fuck, my bad. Nah, Luke is Vader's son.
And I think with the Star Wars franchise, there's, like with Harry Potter, there are so many stories out there for them not needing to remake the original movies.
You have the Thrawn trilogy and Legends canon. Mm-hmm. You can do Boba's side stories because Boba Fett did survive in Legends canon. There's so many spinoffs that Disney can do.
Yeah.
I don't ever think Star Wars will ever be remade. We're just saying you can't remake it or just capture that magic of when you've seen a lightsaber for the first time for people in the 80s and then people in our generation in the 90s with Maul pulling out his double-bladed lightsaber. Mm-hmm. You just can't capture those moments again.
Nope.
And and just like Harry Potter, the cast is already perfect. Mark Hamill is always going to be Luke Skywalker. Ewan McGregor is always going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hayden Christensen's always going to be Anakin Skywalker. And James Earl Jones is always going to be Darth Vader. Harrison Ford is always going to be Han Solo, even though he hates it. And I'm sorry, you can't replicate Carrie Fisher as Leia Organa.
No.
Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. Love you, miss you. But you just can't capture that magic. And that's what we're trying to say.
Yeah. And I completely agree. The Star Wars franchise, like I already said, there's so many different storylines in the book. You have the books, you have the lore. There is no reason for the original movies to be made. Not to mention that it doesn't make any sense because everybody already knows everything.
Yeah, and these movies age pretty well too. I mean, granted, the prequels with George Lucas dialogue is a little cringy. the best written dialogue being in Revenge of the Sith, but still, like we said, even though the Legend Star Wars canon isn't canon with the main storyline, at least Disney can try to adapt some of those storylines with Mara Jade, Jason Solo, Anakin Solo. I know Kylo Ren. He was inspired by Jason Solo and Anakin Solo. Disney can replicate some of these storylines. You don't have to make it a hard copy, but at least be inspired by some, I kind of see Rey being not a carbon copy, but kind of like a remake of Mara Jade, especially since Rey is going to get her own Jedi trilogy, which I am excited for. Mm-hmm. Before anyone asks, I can enjoy the sequels in their own way.
Yeah. I think the new sequels will be really cool, and I don't know. It's Star Wars. You can't remake it.
You can't. It's a classic. They're always going to be a classic, and they're always going to be here. They'll be here when me and Izzy are gone from this earth, when our future kids are gone from this earth. You get what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
They're always going to be here, just like these movies we're mentioning.
Yep.
All right, and now number 3 we're on number 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2 on our franchise list is Jurassic Park. Now, I know. If you guys have been watching our podcast, I said I would love an adaptation of the first Jurassic Park book in The Lost World. But, after talking about it with Izzy, as much as we would love it, because you guys need to read these books. Mm-hmm. They are way different from the movies. If you guys read these books, you're going to be like, there's no fucking way they can make these into movies without scaring kids. Yeah. And that's the point. Think of it this way. Kids, dinosaurs. Hollywood sees that as money, money, money. Mm-hmm. So do toy companies. How are parents going to feel if they take their kids to an R-rated Jurassic Park movie where they see someone get bit in half and their guts falling out and an arm stuck in a T-Rex's mouth, or just a bloodied up velociraptor. Just you can't.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to remake Jurassic Park and capture that feeling of when we first seen these dinosaurs. I talked to people who were alive when the first Jurassic Park movie got released, and he said seeing that first dinosaur was something special. Just seeing these things in movie format was special, and the CGI was just out of this world. And people really thought, did he really have real dinosaurs?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I'm pretty sure most people knew they were fake, but you can't blame people if they thought they were real.
You can never recapture that awe that first scene in the first Jurassic Park captured with so many people.
And I know Ian Malcolm says, life finds a way, but just for this franchise, you can't. You can do multiple spin-offs,
Mm-hmm.
you can do sequels to the main storyline, but as far as like a full-on remake, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, as much as we want that horror remake, it's not going to happen with how much this franchise is guided towards kids.
I mean, they had the perfect opportunity with the Jurassic World trilogy. You could have just made those straight up horror. And I talked to Izzy because we just got done watching the VHS 94. I also recommend that movie. It's a little boring, but it's good. I still had a good time with it. I told Izzy I would love a found footage Jurassic Park movie in horror format. That would be fucking awesome. Wouldn't you agree?
I completely agree. I think that would be a great spin-off to the original movie to capture the audience.
Yeah, because Jurassic Park has the potential. I know on YouTube there's been VHS analog horror of Jurassic Park with training videos, the T-Rex breakout, and we watched them. They're amazing. And then Michael Crichton even said that these books are always horror, that it goes not just to animal brutality, but a corporation cover-ups, mad scientists, just everything. And so that's a gold mine right there. But as far as remaking the movies, you just can't. You're not going to capture that magic. You just can't. And it's hard. It sucks, as someone who's a big horror fan and a big Jurassic Park fan, I'm never going to see a straight adaptation of the first two books. And am I mad? No, I'm not.
No, I'm kind of glad that we have that experience with just the books sometimes too.
Yeah, because I'll say this: just reading those books, and then you try to picture it in a movie format with read some passages from the book, and then imagine it as the characters from the movie. I can never see Jeff Goldblum being a coward, just how he is in a book. I can't see Alan Grant in the first movie being friendly to kids as he is in a book.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I cannot see John Hammond from the movie being this evil CEO corp.
No, I can't either. Because their characters are so pushed in the movies, imagining from their book to film, you just can't do it. People are going to be like, this isn't who I watched so many years ago. Yeah. And people are going to have that complain, and it's just not going to be good. So
the only ones that have been close to the books is going to be Lost World.
Yeah.
And, and the first Jurassic Park to some degree, but as far as the horror atmosphere, the only close ones were Lost World and Fallen Kingdom. Jurassic World had potential to be horror, with the raptor breakout scene. But even then, I don't think we'll ever get a remake. And if they ever try, I think it'll fail. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I think a remake of Jurassic Park would fail. Like we said, you just can't capture that magic again. And, with everything being CGI, I doubt they're going to use animatronics. They're going to want to use CGI because CGI is cheaper.
Yep.
And so they're just going to look fake. You just can't capture that magic, like we said.
Yeah, it's not going to work. So.
Yeah. All right. Now, Izzy, we're very excited to talk about our number one. Oof. And this has been debated with a lot of people. We see a lot of fan casting. Mm-hmm. So before we get off topic, our number one for franchises you could never remake and they'll never capture that magic again is Back to the Future. Now, I've seen so many fan casting that has Tom Holland as Marty and Robert Downey Jr. as Doc. But I'm sorry to say, that movie would suck.
Yeah, I mean, as much as that is an awesome fan casting, I really think it's just strings from Marvel, and I don't think it would work in reality.
It's just, with these movies, you can't. They're just, it's a timeless classic in a capsule. Think of it like that. I think even the creator for these movies has it in his will that says when he dies, they can't remake these movies at all. Yeah, did you know that?
I didn't know that, but that's actually really cool.
Because I guess I forgot. I don't know who distributes and produces Back to the Future.
Universal.
Oh, is it Universal?
It's Universal.
Okay, well, it's Universal. So, and I know Universal has tried remaking Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And they tried rebooting it. But the creator said no. And a lot of the cast have said no. You just can't. you just can't remake Back to the Future. It's a timeless classic.
Yeah, it's such an iconic film, especially with the DeLorean. Everybody knows what the DeLorean is, and no one's ever gonna forget it. So why do we need a remake?
And I'm sorry, Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown is perfect. And Michael J. Fox, it sucks what happens to him. Whenever I see Michael J. Fox in anything in interviews, I'm always happy. Izzy just sees me get this big smile on my face. It sucks he has Parkinson's, but Michael J. Fox as Marty is just perfect.
100%. And I love Dr. Marty or
Doc Brown.
Doc Brown.
You're thinking of Rick and Morty.
Oh, that's I know, because I you could basically put those two together.
Yeah, but at least Doc is nice. Rick is just an asshole.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, but a lot of these movies that we're saying, you just can't remake them.
Yeah.
You just can't capture that magic. When we say you can't remake them, yes, you can obviously remake them, but can you remake them? Are you going to capture that magic? Are you going to get the audience attention? That's the thing with these movies, is that they were something so special. They were perfect, and they're never going to age. I mean, they'll age perfectly, but they'll be here for generations and generations. It sucks because the actor for Hagrid, I always forget his name. It sucks. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but the actor for Hagrid, he did a special reunion with the Harry Potter cast on HBO Max, and we loved it. Izzy knows what I'm going to say.
I do.
And he said, and he was tearing up saying this, he's like, even when I'm gone, the character of Hagrid will be here for my kids and their future kids, and so on and so on. And that hits close to home.
Yeah.
And I agree with my nephew Elijah. I don't want to see another Hagrid. He was my Hagrid, just like Alan
Rickman.
Alan Rickman, yeah. Alec Rickman was my Severus Snape. He's always going to be Snape to me. And I know people say, "Oh, Adam Driver can be Snape." No, that's not the point. The point is that these characters, most of these actors are irreplaceable. And people are like, "Oh, well, it's Spider-Man." Whatever. Fucking Spider-Man's a whole different character. I didn't care when Andrew Garfield was casted as a new Spider-Man instead of Tobey Maguire. I was like, okay, well, Spider-Man has hella different stories you can tell in different universes, but these stories themselves that we're mentioning, you can't really replicate it or try telling it the same way.
Yeah, it just, with all these movies that we've mentioned, there's just no way to capture that magic. And like what I wanted to say, Back to the Future, is I want to say it was like one of the first like future movies, and like Back to the Future, the past. So, and that's why it was so iconic, is because it was one of the first movies to ever do that and have that type of concept.
I mean, look at Back to the Future too, how popular it is. I remember when the year 2015 came, and it was October. I forgot the date in October, but it was a day in Back to the Future 2, a scene where people were dressing up how they did in Back to the Future 2. And if that doesn't show you that Back to the Future is a timeless classic, then I don't know what to tell you, because it is. You just can't capture it. How far are you going to go into the future this time? You just, like I said, you can tell it, but will it be the same, and will people connect to it?
Exactly. So, I mean,
yeah, I guess another franchise I can add that can't be remade is Indiana Jones. I've never seen any of them. I think I've only seen maybe the first two. That's it.
Yeah.
But Harrison Ford, he's the GOAT. You just can't really capture it again. I've seen fan casts saying, Chris Pratt or Bradley Cooper could be the new Indiana Jones, and that'd be stupid. I can't see it.
I mean, I haven't really watched any of the Indiana Jones movies either, and I mean, heck, they're making a new Indiana Jones movie this year, so that can just tell you much about this
but
franchise.
They confirmed that it was the last one.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But like, what I'm just saying is, even though those movies came out years ago, they still added on to that franchise. So why would it need to be remade?
Exactly, yeah. And I know we kind of sound like hypocrites, because there's a lot of horror franchises that have been remade. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. But think of it this way. You can do a lot with those characters. What's more iconic? What are people bound to see more? Jurassic Park or Friday the 13th?
Exactly.
I guarantee more people will say the movies that we mentioned on here, more people will be more accustomed to them than any other horror movie, because there's not a lot of horror movie fans out there.
Yeah. Plus, I think with the horror movies kind of have a pass, because there's so many different like stories you can tell with these characters. Rather with these, they have their story to tell. There's no way you can remake that story.
Yeah, I mean, like at least with horror movies, you can kind of tweak some stuff. Granted, they're gonna suck. A perfect example is the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Izzy knows what I'm gonna say. In the original movie for Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger was just a child murderer. We're not condoning anything, before anyone gets their panties in a wad.
Mm-hmm.
But in the remake movie, he was more than that. We're not gonna say.
No.
I hate saying it. It's stupid. But that's just one example of like you can change things about characters, because it's Freddy Krueger. You can change things about him, but they still kept him the same. But look how it turned out. People hated it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I hated that remake.
Yeah, I just like I hate the Rob Zombie Halloween remake.
Oh
I'm sorry, Jared. I go follow my boy Jared on No Motive Collectibles. Awesome horror dude. If you love horror memorabilia, but we even had to talk about the Rob Zombie first movie for Halloween and the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him I can respect the first movie, even though it's just a straight carbon copy of the first movie, the original Halloween. But I cannot get behind the second movie. And he told me to look at it at a different perspective. And I told Izzy about it. And we're going to try when we tackle the Halloween series.
Mm-hmm.
But Jared, I love you, bro, but no promises. I'm going to shit on that movie. But I'll try to look for positives, too. We'll try to be fair.
We'll do our best.
Yeah, so Izzy, how do you think this list went?
I mean, I think it's pretty good. I think we listed some pretty solid franchises, and I completely agree with all of them.
Let us know in the comments below, which franchises do we miss out? Which one do you feel personally can never be remade and capture that magic?
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of Disney movies can't be remade. Look at Moana. That came out fucking, 5 years ago, and it's already getting a live-action remake?
Yeah, I personally think that's ridiculous. There are so many other princess movies that they can do.
You know what remakes we can get? We talked about it, too. Treasure Planet and Lost City of Atlantis.
Yes.
Those two. Hell yeah, bro. Those are underrated Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Hell, I'd rather take a Bug's Life live-action remake over a Moana remake now.
The Bug's Life one would actually be really cool, especially with all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but yeah, Lost City of Atlantis and Treasure Planet, Disney, please remake those. I will kill for that. Okay, I would be happy. Let's just say that before anyone thinks differently.
And my thing about those two movies is that those movies are perfect remakes because they actually involve humans and not animals. I mean, we also saw how the Lion King one turned out.
Yeah, I can enjoy the remake of Lion King, but I'm like, I'd rather just stick with the original.
I don't know. I like it, but I still like the animated more.
Yep. All right, and that's gonna wrap it for the Sunday Funday episode of the IV podcast. Like we said, once in a while, maybe like twice a month, we'll do a Funday Sunday episode, just where we bullshit and have fun, and I engage with my TikTok people, I engage with my YouTube people, just to get a perspective on what they want to see. And so far it's been positive. I mean, look at our view counts. Ever since we started doing video, our views have skyrocketed, and it's fun. If I knew doing video would be fun like this, I would have just done it in the beginning.
Yeah.
That way you guys can see our emotions. Like, I think the funniest one we did was Jurassic Park 3. That's the one I really wish we had done in video.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to that episode and just try to imagine how I looked with some certain dialogue. All right, and that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. Me and Izzy love you all, and we appreciate you all. Thank you for giving our podcast a listen. And to all my subscribers on here and on TikTok, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. And also, I want to mention that we are on Spotify now. So if for some reason you don't want to watch video, would rather just listen to audio on Spotify, we are on there. So just look up the IV podcast, and our episodes should pop up. So yeah.
Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna get on out of here. And as always, take care of each other and take care of yourselves. Mental health is important, people. Don't ever forget that. And we'll catch you this Friday. And it's my birthday on Friday. And we're finally going to do the Spider-Man franchise, all movies. The Tobey Maguire trilogy, the Andrew Garfield movies, the Tom Holland movies, and even the Spider-Verse, which will lead up to the Spider-Verse 2 movie review. And I'm excited to cover these movies. I already got a game plan of what I want to talk about. But yeah, as always, we'll catch you next time. Peace out, everyone.
Bye, guys.